get more now on the fight for Iraq's Anbar province. National Security Analyst Arash Aramesh joins me now live from Los Angeles. Arash, great to speak to you as always. Tell us first of all, how dangerous do you think it is for Shia forces to be leading this charge to retake the predominantly Sunni city of Ramadi?
Good morning, Hannah. It's critical to push back ISIS and take back Ramadi, also take back Anbar and other provinces lost to the ISIS or the Islamic State. But we also have to keep in mind that there have been and there still are some real serious sectarian tensions in Iraq. The current military force or paramilitary force ready to fight and fight better than the Iraqi army are Shiite militias, most of which are backed by Iran. Now, this creates a lot of tension and a lot of anxiety amongst the Sunni community that, for the most part, a lot of them joined ISIS or joined anti-Baghdad forces because of the discrimination that they were receiving by the Shiite government. The very name, the very code name that this group, the military and the militia, have chosen to attack Ramadi is Labbaik Ya Hussein. It's a very sectarian reference to the third Shiite imam who was killed by a Sunni caliph. So you see, it's the reverence, the reference is there, and it resonates deeply among some Shiites, and it definitely scares the Sunnis.
Arash, much has been made of the US Defense Secretary's comments about the will of Iraqi forces in the fight against Islamic State. How justified do you think the concerns are in Washington?
The question, his remarks were justified. I just wasn't expecting a top U.S. national security official, a top cabinet diplomat, to come out and speak so frankly. Yes, the Iraqi army has shown almost no willingness to fight. Look what happened in Mosul about a year ago and what happened in Ramadi. They outnumbered the enemy, yet they had superior equipment. They decided to leave town after the second or third wave of suicide bombers and suicide truck bombers came in. So, yeah, the Iraqi army has proven to be very inept and poorly willed to fight. And once they pull out, it's the Shiite militias and other sectarian groups backed by Iran that come in. Now, here's a problem also with the U.S. The U.S. air campaign has been ineffective. Last summer on this very network, I was happy to announce that the U.S. has now taken action against ISIS, hitting some targets in Iraq and hitting more targets in Syria. But the U.S. has treated the Iraqi theater very different than the Syrian theater, and that has allowed ISIS to be able to operate in both. Iraq is free for all. The U.S. carries out attacks in Iraq, targets ISIS ground movement in Iraq, but they don't do exactly the same thing in Syria. So whatever losses ISIS undergoes and endures in Iraq, they can more than make up for it in Syria because there is no air threat up there. So yes, criticism from Ash Carter was justified. They were not exactly diplomatic. We saw Joe Biden a couple of days later trying to mend the problems and sort of fix the problems. But the Iraqi army itself is really not leading. It's the Shiite militias that are leading. And there are some Sunni tribes involved here, but the vast majority are Shiite militias backed by Iran, which in the long run will be a problem.
Arash, we have to leave it there. Many thanks for your time.